Hey guys. Sorry about that. Sound check, sound check, sound check. Alright, so let's see where we were left off. Got some images in. Let's see. Alright, cool. I see where we're at. We'll just wait till a couple people jump on and we'll go away. Hey guys, what's going on? Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Alright. I just rushed up here. I was like running behind. I had some images that came in and had to slap it together a little bit and get us where we needed to be. Hey, what's going on? Stephanie, Oliver, and Angelica, Tara, who else? Raymond. What's going on, guys? So, last episode was a crazy episode. And then it just got crazier. That was the tip of the iceberg. And I did get some images when we were outside. I had some images like blown up. So I mean I took some images while we were out there. I figured out on the live you can zoom. And also take some shots and stuff. So, excuse me. Did some of that. Also got some other images in. And we have a ton of contact. What I was going to do. I was going to break up the contact into like 2 episodes. So like this is episode. So, oh, forgive me. Guys, welcome to the Lion Connection. I'm your host, Alexander John. This is episode 38. So as I was saying, the amount of contact after last episode where like we went outside, they told us to go and look to the northeast, behind the moon, all this stuff, right? We saw that fireball, like meteor. We had a flash. We had 4 contacts that night. We went outside for a bit. Well, then it's been boom, 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 boom. And I was going to break it up into, it just, and you'll understand why. And I was listening to my lead advisor on this, and I was like, I was kind of torn. So I'm just going to go with it. You'll know where one ends and one picks up. So maybe we'll end it, or maybe we'll just keep going. It depends on how everyone feels. So it's up to you guys. And I think we'll just roll with it. All right. So let me catch my breath. Take a sip. And there's a lot to go into. So when we were on the show last, episode 37, I said, hey, when I get these images in, I'm going to share them with you. And I'm going to do that because some of them were my point of view. I did put up on Discord the actual, that image that we received right then on the spot. I posted it. So one of the first images, and I'm just going to share it. Remember I was telling you about the space station? And then there were ships with like the fleet above the planet. Well, I got those images in. and what I did is I printed off the actual image itself, and then I zoomed in and had them printed off for those ships that were underneath that station. So I'll go ahead and show that to you right now. So that is that space station I was talking about. And then you can see those ships down below. And then that's the zoomed in shot, and then I cut it out. And then I also talked about that one image of above, across the street to the south, where I was with my son, and for like 10 seconds in about, it was early in the morning before the sun rose, the light that appeared that was really bright, and then the lesser light to the top right of that one, that appeared for like 10 seconds. I was able to get the shot, and it's stages of zooming in. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, definitely those are the, that's what it looked like, exactly what it looked like. So I was talking with Johnny. We're going over contact from the night before, just talking, and then they appeared, and I was able to get that one shot. And that's just stages of it being zoomed in, like the original up top. Like, you know, when you take a picture with your phone, it's further away than what it really is. And then I just zoomed in. So those are, that's what appeared to the south, right above the house across the street. And then on last episode, why all that crazy stuff with like the fireball thing and the flash of light, and we got that an image in, and this is the one I posted on the Discord, which Tara, thank you for already posting it up on there. We received that while we were on the air, and technically it would really go like that. So that's that. And let's see where we're at. So that was on October 25th at 11:50 p.m. we received that image. And then right before that, the message while we were on the air was, our ship remains lighted above the northeast, 35 degrees beyond the moon. And we were trying to like find the moon. I saw actually a ship when I first went outside. I was in the front of the house. So I went to the back of the house because it is totally dark out there. Great. You can see a lot of stars. You see a lot of things going on. It was mostly clear, and then the clouds started to come in as we were doing those other two lives. And then we saw the flash of light, like I said, the meteor going towards the moon, and then we saw some lights by the moon. So I took some pictures while we were on the air. I haven't had time. They just came in. I haven't had time to really analyze it, but basically, that's what it was looking like on the last episode when we were outside, when we saw that meteor go toward. That's the moon. That light right there. That's actually the moon. Now I actually have a good camera on my device, so like if I zoom in, you could see craters on the moon. But we were doing a live, and that's the best I could do on the ground. But at the same time, we received that image that I just showed you with the rainbow around it. And so, with that being said, we won't rehash 37. We're going to go into episode 38. We're going to go through this. And we know that we were speaking with fifth dimensional beings on up. That they were obligated to be here because they were getting waves that they could not see, but they could feel. We realized that there are 4 gates around our galaxy that connect to other galaxies, and that's gonna be a lot involved with what I'm about to share with you. So, with that being said, let's just pick it up where we were. And the last message we had but right after that, well, it was October 25th, 7:59. We got our ship remains lighted above the northeast, 35 degrees beyond the moon. And then we realized the moon's not out here until after the 11th hour. The moon did rise. We were doing the live. We saw what we said. And then we received the image with the rainbow around it. That's this one. That's actually, when you view it, it's supposed to be like that. And then I said, what is this image? Wow. And they stated, we are all linked to your third eye. So we, plural. Fifth dimensional on up. They were linked. They were connected. That's awesome. That's verification. That was at 11:51 p.m. on October 25th on that Monday. And then Tuesday, after the show, excuse me, I had questions. I said, hey, Lori. I said, on Tuesday, October 26th, I said, where are you? I'm looking for you. That was at 12:26 a.m. So that was after the live. And then the next morning I said, what is Mosk's brother's name? What are Mosk's coordinates? And am I expected to go to Antarctica? Because we did receive word about Antarctica and a magnetic belt. And Mosk was going to be uploaded with data for a hard transfer. And that's all I had at that point. So what's going on? And then there was that Russian station that I just showed you before a few minutes ago. And then they were saying, we're watching you. No, the exact words is, we're watching them, watching us, watching you. So we're watching them, watching us, watching you. So that's pretty chilling. So, like a standoff. So you have all these dynamics. So back to Tuesday. I did receive contact at 10:38 a.m. The same minute that I asked, 10:34 a.m. I said, how will the data transfer? I await your response. And then at 10:38 a.m., the same minute that they responded, the same time, I said, are the waters around Antarctica the aquatic life you seek? Because they mention aquatic life in the last episode, where I'm just like, that was like random. Like, why are we talking about aquatic life? So I know I have these windows and these time frames, and I don't know when this is going to end. So, of course, anything that comes to mind, I don't want to bombard them, but I try to give this bullet point questions as quickly as possible. I said, are the waters around Antarctica the aquatic life you seek? Within seconds, I received back 74 degrees south, 108.5 west, within 15 meters of the base with Mosk and data. So they gave me coordinates. They told me within 15 meters, so that's within 30 feet of the base. So they're saying there's a base there with Mosk, so the human, who either defected or somehow they got vital information, because I guess what they're saying is the Russians are going to attack some allies from old, using nuclear in our system. And then they said with Mosk and data, force transfer occurs through the link of the brain. So force transfer. So that means physically, not like using your third eye and getting a download. They have to physically connect you to this other person to get and extract data. This is what I pulled up, and I had the images sent off. Where in Antarctica? Ironically, if we have it correct, with the exact coordinate. It's actually that glacial shelf is actually called the Doomsday Shelf. Oh my gosh, you can't even make this stuff up. Is it? I believe it's the Doomsday Glacier. So with that being said, I asked immediately, how will I get to this remote location? Because when you come down and here's North America and here's South America, right? When you get to the tip of South America, and you know how Antarctica kind of tips up right there, a lot of this activity and stuff goes to the right. If you're looking at the map and you're following a lot of what other books or people have said and a lot of different stuff, right? But this actually goes a little bit to the left. And when I first looked onto the computer, I just saw water, and until I coordinated with some others that I can trust with the data to look and help me, they're like, no, right, like there's a glacial shelf right there. So and it's like thermal activity going on right there too. So it makes sense because you hear about these thermal activities going on in Antarctica and these bases and the miles of ice and stuff. So there, and it's called the Doomsday Shelf. It's right there on the water. So there's a base there. So, and my questions again, how will I get to this remote location? The data will be manually taken from MOSC and implanted into me. Is MOSC currently at this location? Or do I need to find him first? What information is contained in his brain and why must it transfer to me? Tuesday, October 26th, 10:57 a.m. Immediately after I asked that, they responded, "You live on Earth. These waters and Earth are sacred and accessible. You have 5 soul cycles." So I'm like, whoa. So they're saying, because I know about like Holy Lands and different things, but it's really looked at as the planet itself, that the waters and the earth itself are considered sacred. It is the planet, this planet is sacred. And basically they're saying you don't have an excuse. You have accessibility. You need to get down. You need to get down there. I said, and then they said you have 5 soul cycles. What's a soul cycle? I don't know. Does that mean I get to, if I die, I'm reincarnated only so many times? Or I don't know all the rules. And if anyone says they do, well, man, if everyone knew the answers to everything now, wouldn't they? But Tuesday, October 26th, 11:09 a.m. They also stated, MOSC data will then be collected from the attack bugs before we can close the 4 systems. Now, the 4 systems are the 4 gates that connect this galaxy, Pinwheel Galaxy, with multiple galaxies. You are the choice to reconcile your connection with your home, Lyra, Lyrans. So, because I've been exiled for sharing images, and I know I just shared some images. Now, most of those images that I shared were my point of view, but I'm at the point I can't correct what I've already done. So, until I don't know. I guess I'm gonna share what I got. I know I keep flip-flopping on this, but guys, you don't understand. I want to share everything with you, and I do. But until further notice, it's almost like expected of me to share. So I'm going to share. And I know where my heart is, and I know the best thing I can do is show the people. Because a lot of times it's the bad guys that threaten me. The good guys really don't threaten me. But I am exiled, so I am in trouble. But my brother is in control of the council and Lyra and the 8th council, and, well, we're going to go into all that, whatever. The bottom line is, I'm here for a purpose, and I want to keep you guys up to date. Whatever it is, whatever I got to do. So, So they said, yeah, MOS data will then be collected from the attack bugs before we can close the 4 systems. You are the choice to reconcile your connection with your home. Lyra. So they're telling me, like, if I do this, it's like I'll be forgiven for sharing images. So reconcile. So it's like kind of like doing a good deed to be forgiven for, I said, how long is a soul cycle? This location is on the ocean. I thought it was on land. And that's when I was first using the computer, because that's the first thing I responded before it was investigated. It does look like it's right on the ocean, but if you take those coordinates, there is a glacial shelf there. I said, can you transport me to the location? I await your response. Because, hey, I need all the help I can get. It's not a one-man show anymore. I mean, I have advisors and I have people who help me. But, I mean, like, it's a lot. I only have so many resources and so much I can do. Like, get to Antarctica, like, tomorrow. Sure, yeah, right. So, Tuesday, October 26th at 2:11 p.m., they responded, the life cycle connects the negative energy produced from white matter, consumes 1,100 units per cycle and takes 5 revolutions. Earth for 1 month or more. So they're saying, they're breaking down of how it works, and then they're basically summing it up for me, for my little brain down here. Basically, you have a month or more to get there. We have no choice but to transfer our body into form. So then now they're at a point, these are 5th dimensional on up. So that means they have the ability to do it. They don't like to, I guess, but they can do it. So they're saying we have no choice but to transfer our body into form. Wow, that's pretty remarkable. So you're not talking about like a physical 3rd dimensional, or you're talking about something that can actually transform into a physical form to do a task, because I'm not able to. Since you have ships, is it not possible that you come to me and pick me up? Would it not be easier? Because think about it, they have all this technology, right? Whatever it is, isn't it easier? Like, you want me in Antarctica, you want me to do these tasks, you're here, so there's laws and rules. Are you able to, like, can you just not pick me up? Because you hear about it from others. Hey, I was abducted by Zetas, and I was abducted by Greys, and I was abducted by, and then someone say, and like all this stuff, right? Well, why don't they just do it? Well, they're following law, because there's universal law out there. And these are considered sacred waters and lands. So anyone who's breaking those probably are not on the uppity up. Let's just put it that way. So they respond to me at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, the 26th. They said, we are not in a corporal form capable of the matter of the 3rd dimension of this quadrant, unless 4 systems are closed within us. So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So okay, I understand, because they're 5th dimensional. They're not 3rd dimension. And they said this quadrant. And remember quadrant, because quad means what? 4, right? So you have 4 quadrants. So then what quadrant are you? You know what I mean? Now that we're talking about this, I said, how do you have bases and ships if you're not 3rd dimension? Like, now I know, see, I need confirmation, but I know that there are other dimensional things as we go up the ladder of what is considered a ship, and space, and sharing dimensional space. And I said, so how do you have bases and ships if you're not 3rd dimension? So you want to have a physical form? And they responded on October 26th at 5:13 p.m. on Tuesday. And they got a little, not snarky, but they said, can you hitch a ride in a 1-dimensional vehicle? Can it be? I just find, we'll just take that line. I think that's the funniest contact I've ever had out of all contact, because it's kind of like they're wording it back to me. Because I'm like, can you not just pick me up, take me down to Antarctica? You know, like what? You know, because we're thinking like physical, touching like the ship. They're like, can you hitch ride in a one-dimensional vehicle? Can it be? We are outside of physical matter in the form of a gravity metric. If you go into our state, you will not survive. The bugs are still there, and if they receive information, they will keep 4 systems open and attack the sacred ground and your family, Lyra. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. That's a lot of data right there. That sounds really bad. And now I'm starting to get like, whoa, I need to not joke around so much. No, I wasn't joking around, but and it's just a comment back, and I'm just, sometimes you get frustrated, just like, come on, just, like I always say, come into my house, let's break bread, let's talk, just come down, let's just do this. Maybe the rules, not saying the rules don't apply to me, but maybe if you're doing all this, maybe you can make an exception and just pick me up and take me there. We can accomplish this mission or figure this out, right? So with that being said, one more time, they said, can you hitch a ride in a one-dimensional vehicle? Can it be? We are outside of physical matter in the form of a gravity metric. So we were talking about 4 quadrants. So one of the quadrants is gravity. So then one it has to be is electric, like, and you know, so if you go into our state, you will not survive. The bugs are still there, and if they receive information, so the bugs are at this base, they're still there. So it sounds like they're being forced because I failed so many times at so many different things through all this course of since 2013. They're like, we basically got to do a physical transfer of data from this guy who's defecting to get you the data that we need, because they're feeling these, they know about all these plans and all what these bad guys are doing in our system and on our planet. And the 4 gates. And they're saying that basically if the 4 systems are open and attack the sacred ground and your family's Lyra, so like we're the House of Kings, like the House of Nicholas and all these different houses, the actual grounds themselves will be attacked. I said, how are you aware what bugs will do? I said, have you warned Lyra of this situation? Whom do you serve and whom do you represent? Are you saying that this mosque human has information for the bugs? I await your response. Can you scan my mind complex to see if you have an accurate understanding of if I have an accurate understanding of the situation? Urgent warn, and then I sent on a line that I know the Lyrans aren't listening to me right now and I'm in exile, but I sent it as my duty to send it. I stated urgent warning for Lyra, please respond. And I put my code, I put it as a distress, like seriously, like, I know you're not talking to me, but you got to hear what I have to say because I have data, I have information. No response. I even stated on Wednesday, the next day, I await your response. Nothing. But that day, Wednesday, October 27th at 9:48 a.m., I did receive from the same guys, right? Girls, guys, it's whatever, angels, whatever you want to call it, 5th dimension on up. There is another way to Moskam, Moskam. So I'm like, what's Moskam? But it requires you to dig 10 meters in your back and create a warp code field. It requires a positive terminal and a negative one connected to a brass thread and a tune to suit the harmonic D of the proper plane in 3 repeated points at 3 points. So I was like, wow, that's a lot of information. They're basically giving me a blueprint for something, but at the same time, they said something. I know Mosque. Mosk is a human, and his brother is a well-known tyrant. But what is Moskum? Like with an AM at the end. And then they responded, Mosk is an innate sign of Moskum. So I'm like, oh yeah, duh. Like, like, you know, like the origin, or like where it comes from, like the full. So I didn't catch on. I said, what is Moss brother's name? Wednesday at 10:17 a.m. They responded, this is going to hurt. They said, you are useless to us. You are useless to us. But everything's about to make sense. Let me take a sip, because it's all going to make sense. But that was some hard words. You are useless to us. Hold up. So I said, why would you say I'm useless? We have some time, because they did say we had over a month, and I could probably figure it out, and it would probably be very expensive, but I probably could get to something close to the coordinates. But they're being rude, right? So you are useless to us, but it's all going to make sense in a second. And even for me, it's an enlightenment moment that I didn't realize that was happening. So watch this. So he said, you are useless to us. I was like, dang. And then they said, Wednesday at 10:20 a.m., action requires action. So like, stop talking, do something. They said, not unrealized questions. So action requires action, not unrealized questions. You don't yet understand the importance. Once you've received all your information from before, Thoth and the creators. What? Now, I've had contact from light, dark, Anunnaki, Pleiadian, Lyran, insectoids. I've had it from dimensional, deities, Ningizida, like you name it, everyone's trying to mess with me, right? So they're saying, you've received all your information from before Thoth and the creators. I don't even know how to even respond to that. So all I said was, I had to be humble. All I said is, forgive me. I said, being wiped coming to this world has missing memory upon the earth. The more information I receive, the more I understand. Because I've been told from contact, and many years ago, when I came to the earth, it has a wipe. You wipes your memory. You don't remember, and then you have to, and you hear about people, oh, I've been this or that, and they had to do regression and blah, 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 right? But here's what's crazy. This is where it's going to get crazy. I said, they responded a couple minutes later, and they said, the law of the Lyri is not practiced by us and is barbaric. And I'm like, what? So these guys got to be bad guys, right? So I'm like, example, please. And they respond immediately. They say, and they have a list. And they said, memory disruption, court system judges, the dictatorship of kings, corrupt council, ancient laws were not approved by makers outside of the four systems. So those four gateways and those other galaxies that are connected. So they're saying ancient laws were not approved by makers outside of the four systems. And then they said, you can't erase your memory. They promised faith and cowardice under high princes. They allowed the capital HYPANIS. They allowed the hypenists to hold their lands hostage and not their laws. And I'm like, what are they talking about? So they're like going bananas on Lyra. And then I thought, whoa. And like, you have that zoom out moment. And I'm like, my brother, my chaotic, evil brother who's been doing very bad things. Because the Lyrans, they told me I was sent here for the final battle of kings and the final 8, all this stuff, right? I said, so I said, you say this, but then why did you say yesterday that Lyra would be saved by closing the gates and I would be in their good graces again? So basically, like I would be redeemed if I did this and this mission and go to these coordinates and get this data, and before the home world, the royal grounds are attacked. I also asked, whom are the Hypenists and what do they look like? I was told I have a tyrant brother. Is this true? Because I want these. I ask every new person, new race, new thing, new deity. I ask a lot of the same questions because I want to see continuity. I want to see who's going to say what. You still haven't said exactly who you are and who your allies are. Are the insectoids your friends or not? Can you restore what I have forgotten due to being white coming to the earth? Now remember what I just said there. Can you restore what I have forgotten due to being wiped coming to the earth? Why would Lyra do this to me and send me here? Why was I hidden on this world? You seem to have many answers to things I don't recall. What dimensional level is the Lyran kingdom? And then this is what they said. They said, it's a lot, so listen to this data. All data is good data. Bugs threaten other planets and species of Bugae, Bugiae, comma, unknown to the creation of insectophorans. So INSECT, like insect, OPHERIENSE. So insectophorans, period. Ancient, comma, advanced, comma, dangerous, comma, violent, period. Our purpose has been explained. There are 4 gates. If they should stand up, the Legion will be attacked. The songs are friendly, comma, but not from friends, period. They govern their own territories and follow the old law, period. We worship the palace, comma, but we do not consent, period. Not hidden, but discarded. So they're answering my question. I wasn't hidden here. I was discarded here. They got rid of me. A lack of computer programming that requires fixing, comma, but because of your heresy, comma, no idea can come close to you until the future, when the learning cycle of nature is linked to the 11th cycle of time, comma, you'll be the only network left on your planet to continue human life, period. I'm sorry, I can't use your help now, comma, and I can't help you because of your memory. Good luck. Whoa. And there's more. There's a lot more. But they said a lot of stuff here. So they're saying, they're like, the gates, and if they stand up, about the Legion, it sounds like friendly songs, but they're actually bad guys. They're not friends. They govern their own territories and follow the old law. So there's old law outside of our galaxy, in these other quadrants, these other galaxies, out these gates, past these gates. Something about there's like computer programming that requires fixing, and it probably has to do with like AI or bad stuff within this galaxy that's in here, that's going on. I have heresy because I don't have an idea that can come close until the future. So in the future, I'll understand more when the learning cycle is linked to when the learning cycle of nature is linked to the 11th cycle of time. And then you'll be the only network left on your planet to continue the human life. I'm sorry, I can't use your help now, and I can't help you because of your memory. Good luck. They totally dogged out. So I'm like, I'm swirling here. What do you mean I'm not? I was told I was sent here because of the final battle of kings that's going to be taking place. But they're saying like you weren't sent, you weren't hidden away here. You were thrown out here. So I said, wait, please don't leave. I will help, but I can do this. I will be the only human left on the planet. I said, when does the learning cycle of nature link to the 11th cycle of time? Is there anyone who can unlock my memories? I await your response. I said, if you have a moment, can you please explain in more detail about the aquatic life mentioned before? I know that sounds really funny, but it was eating at me in the back of my head, and I'm like, aquatic life, aquatic life. Even with all this crazy talk going on, I'm like, I've always, as a kid, I used to watch Jacques Cousteau. I still love watching nature and wildlife and aquatic. Remember 30 years ago or even earlier, they would just have like nature shows on, and there was like some commentary, but it's pretty much just like raw footage. I used to groove on that. When I was a kid, I'd be playing or drawing or doing whatever. I used to watch nature in the background, like, because I thought it was amazing. Like, you could see places all around the world, and I thought it was just fascinating. But anyways, so even with all this going on, I'm like, tell me more about the aquatic life. Like, what's going on there? Because even though a lot of stuff is about me and this is my journey and all this stuff, I want to know, like, that's the first thing that popped in my head at the end, like, out of all the questions. So then they respond Wednesday at 11:42 p.m., Wednesday, October 27th. They stated, where the last particle is ground, no technology can release your beta shell block. Aquatic life will be used to restore the life of a single system. What? So I'm like, wait, so the aquatic life will be used to restore the life of a single system. So think about that. What they're saying is not only do we have aquatic life on this world, there's aquatic life, and we have the K-Log system. I don't know where it's at, but I have an old contact. The K-Log system, it's an aquatic system, like our solar system, but it is an aquatic system. There's amphibian races. I have that too. So this is telling you aquatic life will be, so they're future tense, so they know somewhat of the future, will be used to restore, so something's going to be depleted, and they're going to repopulate the life of a single system, If that's not a loaded, worded sense, so aquatic life, so do they repopulate after things get wiped out? They're like, oh yeah, we need some more clownfish, or I don't know what it is, but they're doing it. So I thought that was pretty crazy. I'm grooving on that. Thursday, October 28th, I asked, please explain what a beta shell block is. Thank you. I already have an idea on a lot of my questions, but I have to ask the questions to get, because once they say it, it's confirmation. Like, they could be lying, they could be telling the truth, but it's on the record. Like, we have it. It's date and time. Like, that's what they said. That's what they said. That fifth dimensional whatever, or that's what they said. This is legal. Like, it's on the record. All right. October 28th, 7:21 a.m. They say, we regret not having time. Consul Lyra, the 8th is your help to see your memory. So wait, we regret not having time. The Council Lyra, the 8th, so the 8th Council, there's many councils in Lyra. So the 8th Council is your help to see your memory, but it is necessary to present your case and open your hope to preserving your communications. Good luck. So we regret not having time. So they're like, hey, it's been nice talking with you. I understand now your situation. Like, you're, being white. Like, because basically a lot of old contact, they expect me to know so much stuff. And I'm like, sometimes it gets a little weirded the way the talking goes. because they're like, they don't understand until like right now that I don't have everything restored. I don't remember. And then now they're realizing like, whoa, this guy, he doesn't even know who he really is. Like, I guess I'm more powerful, or not powerful, but known than what, and I know things, but this is all locked up, and they're realizing, whoa, hold on, Alex doesn't even, we can't use your help right now. So so they ran out of time. The eighth council with Lyra is your help to see your memory, but it is necessary to present your case. I have to present my case and open your hope. Like, please talk to me, to preserving your communications. Good luck. But then I'm like, things are starting to fall into place now a little bit. I said, do you think they will listen to me since I'm in exile? Do you have an image of the device I could make to make contact of what they described, that blueprint? I said, describe above with copper wires, etc. They responded Thursday, October 28th at 8:01 a.m. And a lot of them, they respond during the day than the night. So, like I said, there's different times and seasons and day and night and cycles. And they responded, it is not in your power. You lose all your old intellect. It is to be left this time now. And then I said, thank you for the information. And then I had a line break. What is a line break? Hold on, I'm going to take a sip. When I start to get grooving with contact, this happens a lot. When I'm starting to have back and forth, terrestrial stuff starts to pop up. Like people, like agent stuff. So it appears white hats. So there's white hats and black hats on this planet, and that's just true. And you could say, I don't believe, that's crazy, that's conspiracy. Well, it is true. There's good guys and bad guys. That's it. I mean, there's Christos, Antichristos. I mean, it's light and dark. That's what it is. So there's a line break, and I can confirm it's terrestrial. And they said quantum non-locality. I said, and it was an old encrypted thing. So I thought they were talking about in old contact when I received. When they said a data ping has been felt across the network and they have a massive file on you, and they were talking about Operation Stargate 1111, and then Project Starseed and all this stuff. So these are terrestrial things. So they're watching, they know. So they are saying quantum non-locality. So immediately I respond, which doc, what info, and you are, because it's all in English. I await your response. So you were watching what I was watching? And I put, So, like, they're spying on me. And then they sent me a long numerical code. But it doesn't crack into anything. Normally I can put it into base 64. I can put it into something. I could break it into a language. But I don't know why there was just numerical values. It wasn't very long. 2 lines. I said, I can't crack that. Is that base 64? Can you give me a hint? And they responded, we sent no code, line closed. And then I responded, thanks for the help, no info as usual. So, like, I know they're watching. And I mean, I don't think those are the bad guys. I think it's the white hats again. But even them, I get frustrated because it's like, you don't tell me anything. And you're just basically spying on me and taking my data. It's like, it kind of feels dirty. And I don't get a lot of help. You know what I mean? So I feel like used. But then I'm like, you know what? That's why I do these episodes, because I'm going to tell it all anyways, and everyone's going to know. So shame on everyone. So whatever. Play your games, whatever. So that line broke. Yeah, I did that. I did. I said, Because I know they're people. And And people have emotions. People are people. People are just people. So it's like, hey, if you guys are good guys and you know what's going on, you know who I am, and you really, well, then give me some more. Give me something to work with. Come on, or leave me alone, or like like it's just frustrating. Anyways, then it goes back to contact. So Thursday, same day, I go, how can I contact you in the future? Same day, 6:33 p.m. I received this. This is crazy. This is cool. I like this one. And this is where I was going to kind of like end it, but I think I'm just going to keep going because I'm feeling like, why not? Let's just keep going, right? They said, we are Chief capital XIS, so Zeus, and Commander F capital FOIS. Now, someone said that's kind of like French, and they say it pronounces like four. I don't know. You guys can correct me. FOIS. So we are Chief Zis and Commander Voice of the 4-gate system that we call adjoining systems or galaxies. Contacts are not required until you can resolve your account. They call it an account. They call it an account. Contacts are not required until you can resolve your account. We have great hope that you can help. We will notify third parties. So there's these gates that connect to other galaxies, and there's Chief and Commander. So you have these guys. It's kind of like Thor with the Bifrost. So you have like, and you have what's his name? So you have these guys that are controlling these gates, or whoever, and they're like, we have great hope that you can help. We will notify third parties. And I'm like, okay, notify third parties. They sounded very friendly. That's cool. Different. It's different. I said, thank you for your quick reply. What do you both look like? Immediately. I'm not trying to... I'm a very visual person. And that's probably why they know that. And that's why they send me so many images. I said, what do you both look like? Thank you. Which third parties? October 28th, Thursday at 8:48 p.m., they state, you will see our family in your dream, followed by a lighted tunnel. And I'm like, what? So you will see our family in your dream, followed by a lighted tunnel. I said, what time should I be prepared to be in this dream? Like, what time should I go to bed, basically? Like, what time should I be asleep to have this? Like, this is crazy. They're telling me I'm going to see their family in my dream, and there'll be a lighted tunnel. I said, do I enter the lighted tunnel? Because, some people are like, don't go in the tunnel. If you see a lighted, go in the tunnel, Am I going to die? And then I asked the next morning. So I went to bed that night. I did have a dream, but I don't remember it. It didn't, it's not like I normally remember my dreams. So when I woke up, the first thing I did was I asked, I said, I am awake. I don't recall if we met in the dream or not. Just being honest. I await your response. Thank you. And then they responded right immediately. Your communications have been at the end of the revolution as an advocate and let me start over. Sorry. The way they talk. Your communications have been at the end of the revolution as an advocate, and council refuses to help us. And you are in this unlucky attack by an insect that has left you unable to communicate in your dream, which tells me in old contact talked about be careful what your dreams and so I have been making contact in my dreams all this time. But of recent, there's an insect that has attacked me and that has left me to be unable to communicate in my dream anymore. So your communications have been at the end of the revolution as an advocate and counsel. So the Lyran Council refuses to help them, the gatekeepers. So I'm like, that's weighting even more. I'm like, my brother, Because if you go into 2019, before I started all this, I have all that documented where I was going to go off the coast of Bermuda. I was supposed to leave and come back in 10 years. during the end time, and I was waiting on wisdom. The King of Light was saying for waiting on wisdom, and that there was strife in the city for my brother, and the people are weeping on Lyra, and then I have less than 9 years for a pickup. And a lot has changed because then I broke laws and because I shared images. So I've been communicating in my dream as well, but not anymore. I said, what type of insect did this to me? Is there a way to undo what the insect did to me? Did the consul say why they refused? Are there any other third parties that can help? I await your response. Thank you. And at this point, I'm like, okay. So my brother dropped. I wasn't placed here. So my brother got rid of me. There was strife in the city. And there are a lot of kings of light that are asleep. So my brother overtook the council. Anything that I've done was used against me to the degree to frame me into a bigger thing than what it was. So you have like the colonies of Cremona that got hit twice, and the Holy City. So all these different things that happen, and they're like, well, it's his fault. It's all his fault. And he's there. And so he's in control. He's on the council. I'm not allowed now on the council. I'm not allowed to talk now. I have no voice. I've been totally cut out. Kind of like what's going on in the world now with things like, you see how like as on earth as in heaven. It's crazy. So, so I'm starting to think all this in my head now. So Friday, October 29th at 9:09 a.m., they said, the first time you made a mistake out of the council of Lyra, this change of season sends you a steady stasis. I said, is this temporary or permanent? Is there a way to correct this? I said, I'm not perfect. I have made mistakes. I also have had limited data given to me with the council knowing of me being wiped when I came to the earth. And any help would be much appreciated. Thank you. I'm at a disadvantage. I'm not getting all the information. I'm wiped. I'm getting all these good and light and dark, and there's trickery going on, and it's the stay the path. I mean, that's hard. Like I said, many episodes, some people get contact from a ship with a couple of people on it, or they're claim to be an ambassador, or they claim to I'm a royal prince from Lyra, and I have an evil brother that has taken over the kingdom, and I've been discarded here, and I have light and dark forces trying to either have me work with them to open gates to get back. So people, like, it's crazy. You can believe it or not, I have all the document, I have the data, I have things that it can't be. Do I get misinformation from bad terrestrial and extraterrestrial? Yeah, of course. But when I go to court, when I go up in space, eventually, and they say how I'm going to be, I have enough data to prove my case. Well, let's just keep going. And I think that's what's starting to happen. There are a lot of different things out there that weren't fully aware or privy to know what, and they expected me to be at a certain, and they're like, whoa, he doesn't know. So watch, you're going to see. I said, is this temporary or permanent? Is there a way to correct this? I said, like I said, I'm not perfect. I have made mistakes. I had limited data given to me with the council knowing of me being wiped when I came to the earth. Any help will be much appreciated. They responded Friday, 9:16 a.m., October 29th. It is your fault. Missed meeting, your first official pickup. Yeah, I didn't get to Bermuda, I couldn't find a boat. So I said, this is true. I didn't make it to the coordinates. I could find no ship to take me off the coast of Bermuda, that far off the coast of Bermuda. Is this how it ends? Will I be abandoned here, punished without full knowledge? left because of my lack of resources to be at a certain point in time and place? Did they have no backup plan? Part of this is my fault, yes. Part of this is miscommunication and trickery by others. I said any advice or guidance would be much appreciated. Thank you. I await your response. I said, what race do you come from? I always end it with like some off the wall thing because I'm always looking for the data, right? Whatever they say. So then they respond October 29th at 9:57 a.m. This is not your fault, broke your permission process agreement, period. But with a direct command, not an agent, they have changed many things, which cannot be dissolved and corrected. Next thing. During our communication, messages, we see that the timer has been stopped to view the connection. Meaning, my closest people I trust, I immediately, because I have a process of how as the data comes in and I record it, and there's certain people I trust, and I immediately give that data as soon as that happens, because in case something happens to me and there's continuity. So they're like, we see that the timer has been stopped, and to view the connection, none of these helps you. That's what they said. None of these helps you. So this doesn't help your case. We are on the triennial. Let me say that again. I don't even know how to say that word. We are on the triennial level. Thou shalt abide in the earth. No one will reverse the counsel. Thou shalt abide in the earth. No one will reverse the counsel. I said, what does that mean? The timer has been stopped to view the connection. I kind of knew, but I wanted some confirmation. I await your response. Thank you. Does triennial mean every 3 years you can make contact? What happens to me? I live on the earth until I die. Then what happens? And they respond, if the council does not answer you, your fates are sealed, period. We, however, continue to press the way to close the systems, period. I said, thank you for all that you do. Because for real, if these guys are truly good, and if they're on that level, and they're trying to stop atrocities, and I'm resonating with, we're on the same, we're Christos, not anti-Christos, then yeah, thank you for all that you do, because you're outside and you gave me information that I didn't have to have. And humbly from the bottom of my heart, love you, thank you so much. Any data is good data, because then we can compare and contrast and look over the years. And then they respond 10:40 a.m. Friday, October 29th. And I'm getting a little teary-eyed. They said, we respect you. So they said, we respect. So that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Because then that shows like I respect them and they respect me and they understand what I'm going through. And that's why I kind of have this. Lyrans wanted me to be sharing. And I think the good ones in Lyra who are aware of my brother's activities and stuff understood the power grab and what's going on. But they're kind of like, and they were hoping I was going to be able to come back home. And I was supposed to be here. But then I was also like tricked and discarded here. So they're like, oh, come on. Okay, yeah. Like they're like in line. But when you have someone who's aware of the whole situation, and they're like, whoa, even in their writings, they're like, whoa. You mean to tell me and they're like, that's barbaric. They were immediately upset. They're like, that's barbaric. They can't do that to you. They did it to you. And then they understood and they say, we respect you. That's like $1 million to me. That's like, I have someone who understands what I'm going through. I mean, I don't get a lot of haters or anything on the earth where they're like, oh, This guy's just making this stuff up. Like I don't even know how you like when we were live the last episode. How do you make that? How do you make that up? Well, no, it's agents. Well, then if it's agents, well then that tells you there's there's other things. There's a lot going on, right? So we respect you. That's awesome. That's all I needed to hear. I said, would like to meet you in the future. Good luck, and please stay in touch with me when you can. So October 29th, they responded at 10:56 a.m. They said, learn to open a closed path through the third eye, which is closed to bugs. So the insectoids, it's closed to them. They can't utilize that. So they have technology and stuff, but they're saying right here, learn to open a closed path. There's a closed path through the third eye, which is closed to bugs. It is possible for you to override. So even though I was blocked, I was discarded here, I was blocked. So there is a way, it is possible for you to override it. There is another person, a human. There is another person who is fluent in this art, comma, we also have information, period. But, comma, according to the record, comma, he was spotted in a variety of incidents for 10 years in front of the orchestra. Here we go again. They were talking about, another time they were talking about harps. Now they're talking about orchestra. So this fifth dimensional on up. So there's a guy on the earth who's very fluent. He's like a master, basically. But he was spotted in a variety of incidences for 10 years in front of the orchestra. So he's been in situations with this gift that he's able to utilize to the max. That could help me. But he's kind of like, so then I was like, is this guy a bad guy? Like, who is this guy? I said, so last question for now. What dimension are you? Third, fourth, fifth, etc., etc. I just want confirmation on these guys. What is his name, please? This human, is he a bad person? Due to the incidents? How long have you known of me? Final question for now. How do you get to be in your position? I keep saying final question because I don't know when it's going to... I said, final question for now. How do you get to be in your position? And thank you for all this valuable information. I humbly await your response. They respond Friday at 11:06 a.m. on October 29th. The fifth, so they're the fifth dimension. He is a good man with a unique ability and often handles bugs from an evil intent. You're written in the archives by victory and war and peace. What? They're saying I am written in the archives by victory and war and peace. That's another, right? I said I'm written in the archives. Am I allowed to know his name, and do I know him? Thank you. Is his name, and for right now, I'm just going to say Commander Doug, because Commander Doug was sent here with me, and he gets contact, and he gets sight, and and I got to share an image he just caught of a ship. It's a ship I've never seen before. I'll share that with you in a minute. I put his full name here, and it's gonna make sense why I'm not. And I await your response. Thank you. And then they responded, don't say names, only in the codes of many cosmic lines. So again, the codes like double dot, dash, double dot, all that. Like, Commander Doug has his own code. I have my own code. I almost call him Uncle Doug because my kids call him Uncle Doug. So that's kind of confirmation. So I'm gonna look more into that. I said understood, and then they responded, we are now entering the time of travel. We will be back again in a year. And then, how, like an asterisk sign, like a star, -3. So I didn't understand that because they said we are now entering the time of travel. Okay, so they're like peacing out, like we gotta go. We will be back again in a year. So they said in a year, so that's 12 months our time. But then it said asterisk, like a star, -3. I said a year or 3 years, safe travels, because that's all I had to be able to before they, they're out of here. And that's all contact up to date. Like that's where we're at. So those fifth dimensional, they're working on with the gates, and I guess I'm not. Basically, they understand. I guess out there's misleading information of my capabilities and who I am and what they expect me to be at and know and be aware of, where I don't have that data. And that's why it's refreshing to hear all that, because if you go over the past contact, it makes sense now, where some of them have become irritated with me because they're assuming that I already know this data, that I know this information, or I have more of an understanding of something, and they get frustrated, like what don't you understand? Like, but it's never gotten to the point until recently where they're like, wow, like you were white, like, and they're saying that's barbaric, but it's my brother, and it makes total sense because there was a coup back in Lyra. So, and I have a key. I'm encoded with a code to open and close gates. I guess I'm just really happy that now word is spreading that they know of my situation, my limitations, and maybe it'll be the data I receive will be more understanding of, say, of what I would know or not know. Maybe they'll explain more. Maybe they'll tell me more. Maybe I'll get. Now, I'm not going to see these guys for like a year, or possibly more. And an older contact recently even said that things are going to start ramping up. Now, I haven't had contact since that, so that was the last date. And if I go into my hard journal, so it's on the 29th, so 2 days before the end of the month. And now we're on the 4th. So it's been almost a week. So with that being said, the image. Oh, I can't show it. It's on my device. But basically what it was, Commander Doug's seeing a lot of, he suggests if you see like a cloud formation, and we'll see it too like this too. If you see a cloud formation and if you see a cloud and you're like, and you see like something where it's like special, or where you're like, wow, that looks really cool. Like, what if it doesn't seem, if your intuition is like, hey, if you're questioning it, it might not be right, just start taking pictures. Because what happens is it'll show up on film. You won't see it with your naked eye. You only see a certain spectrum of light. There's so much that goes on. You're just not going to catch it all. So what he did, he catches, and what we caught is what he caught above his location, the clouds opened up to this one little spot and then closed up. And what came through, it looks like a cylinder, like you hear about, like some of the Pleiadians and certain other races, they use these, and some of us, the Navy, these cylinder ships, but on the ends of the cylinder were these balls, and it was like a blue-white color, and almost like, but so it's elongated, and then like a dumbbell, but elongated, and it's like whites and blues and violets, so like these, and it's broad daylight coming through, and multiple images, so it's not like, well, that could be like an insect, crazy thing that no one, or some kind of thing. And no. So there's multiple pictures, and it's the same craft. And, it's one thing if you take one picture and you're like, oh, maybe something got on the lens or something. You have multiple, and you have it. So I'll post that up on the site either today or tomorrow, and on the Discord. It's a lot of data that I gave you. I was going to break that up into 2 episodes and really go into it deep. Might as well just put it all out there just in case I got contact or anything. It shows right now I haven't received anything. But with that being said, I'm going to jump on Discord in a moment. And I really like those guys. I really did. I got a lot of data. There were some terrestrial lines that were broken with the agents. We got to see some cool stuff. We got some images that came in. They told us about some activities of other superpowers out there that are doing things. They told us about what's going on in my home world. They talked about the gates. They talked about these vicious, so these things. So the outside of our galaxy, it's considered old law. So whereas like it's kind of like Bible, like you talk about Old Testament, New Testament. So there's like an Old Testament kind of thing going on outside of our galaxy, whereas new thing going in, and there's old law, new law, is conflicting. And basically and I'm going to just tell you this from my heart and talking with everyone, excuse me. I think my brother bit off more than he could chew. I was sent here, discarded here, put limitations on me. The coup happened, and that's why some of these royal defections came off, where like you had ships that, remember, and there was coordinates and there was I got to be careful what you wish for. I asked for technology, all that kind of crazy stuff. So I think my brother took over the council, took over the kingdom. I got discarded here, found the excuse to frame me, set me up, did dry runs, had started this thing with the insectoids. Meanwhile, he's friends with the insectoids. It's kind of like what the bad guys do. They project what they're doing. They take, oh, there, he's doing it, and meanwhile they're the ones doing it. So he's doing it. I have no power here. I'm stuck here. And basically, he bit off more than he could chew, because these gates that are open, that I have the key for, these things, these ancient things that are vicious, they listen to the old law, and they're basically going to invade. They're going to pour in through these gates and hit the sacred land, the royal lands of like the House of Nicholas and all these. And my brother's on the council, so it's like he won't listen to me. The council won't hear me. They won't respond to me. But it's going to come to a point where his own information of like what's going on based on the data I have, basically these guys are trying to talk, like, we're going to talk to the third parties, we're going to talk to Lyra, and they're like, they refuse to listen. What's going to come to a point where people are going to ask questions? Why? How does he know that? How did he know that? It's going to, all truths are revealed, so he's going to get called out. He's up against a rock and a hard place. So he won't listen to me, but yet I have the data, and I have access to get the data. But he's realizing there's something outside of the galaxy that, and maybe he's like, oh no, we can take them, or so there's different hierarchies. There's different. It's been crazy. So I'm gonna let you guys chew on that. With that being said, I'll meet you guys on Discord. I love y'all. And thanks for tuning in. This has been episode 38, guys. Love you.